The most important thing is to stay calm and to assist anyone that needs assistance with mobility to help them get out of the building or to a safe place. And I think that is all that we can do is just to be calm. And I'll be the first one to teach you my I also wanted to let you know quickly that out on the table in our desk, we have some, what do I want to say, overstock of some of our previous pastor gifts. We've got some of the courage tote bags. We have a number of the books. Now it's an altar in the world, out there as well. And so if you would like one of those, please help yourself and feel free to take one. If you would like to make a small donation of $5 or something, you wouldn't say no. But I've been sitting in my office for a while. So I really would love for them to just not be here at the end of the day tomorrow. So please help yourself with those things out there as well. I want to do some introductions. First of all, our guest minister for this weekend is our new field apostle, Chandra Newcomb. Chandra, you want to say a quick wave back there in the background? I think she's looking forward to it. She'll be sharing with us a little bit later today, and then she will also be sharing with us at the pastor's staff breakfast tomorrow morning, as well as in our message during the worship service tomorrow. Our government, our company is right here. What are going to speak is in the university. So thank you for that. And then during this orientation session, you'll be hearing from myself, you'll be hearing from Ron Welch, our financial officer, our benediction and blessing on the lunch will be given by Jennifer Fisher from our congregation. And I really want to recognize and thank our top-notch tech crew here back, Jim Laura Fish, Gary Lewis, and Lyle is our photographer, yes, right there. So please be kind to Lyle. He takes great pictures for us, and it helps in cooperating. So appreciate it. And Barry is working on our Zoom link. So for those of you on Zoom, I can't see you, but I'm assuming you can see. Welcome. We're glad to have you joining us. And Barry will be making sure that you see all the things that we do out there. I want to also thank Diane Werley, who is our logistics coordinator here. The Mission Center leadership team, we all work from our homes, from Salem up to Granite Falls, everywhere in between. But we need someone on site to make sure you have chairs and a piano and a stage and all the things that can happen. And so Diane Werley does that for us, and she's done a phenomenal job and has just met everything that we need. So we really thank her for everything that she's done. We cannot hold it off without her comments. Diane, are you in the room? So, if you see Diane, please thank her as well. And finally, David Pointer, right back here, is our head usher. He's our facilities manager as well, and make sure everything's happening. So, we thank David for his help this weekend as well. So, this delegate orientation session, many of you have been here before, but many of you haven't. And so I just want to remind you that this is an informal session. It's not a business meeting. Robert has no business being here in all of his rules of order. He is out there somewhere for this session. And we still try to be efficient and thorough, but we don't have to follow all those rules. This is simply an opportunity for Ron and I to present the business of the day and give you an opportunity to ask the clarifying questions about the budget, the financial picture, the resolution that you presented, and that sort of thing. So it's time for questions. There will be motions or amendments, and we'll do as much background as we can at this session. And that all leads to a very smooth business session in the afternoon. So hopefully that works as year after year. If you are a delegate for this afternoon, you should have a blue ribbon on your name tag, and this now also applies if you are elected as an alternate. You probably been assigned to represent the congregation, so you should come prepared. If you have any questions about your status as a delegate, see Jill, she'll swear you away. Non-delegates, those of you who were elected to be delegate but are here, we're so glad you're here because we welcome everyone to come. And you're welcome to be in all the sessions, sitting wherever you like. During this session, if you're a non-delegate but you have a question about the budget or the resolution, you may ask a question, but during the business meeting, only delegates can move resolutions or motions and do seconds and speak those then after all the financial documents and resolution, each of us will give you a chance for questions and answers at that time. If you have a question during the session or are speaking during the business session this afternoon, we would ask you to either move to one of the mics in the aisle or raise your hand and go behind the okay? If you're on Zoom, you're muted, but if you have a question about one of those items, please put your question in the chat box, and Barry will alert us and we'll ask that question to the floor. So the Zoom folks are not delegates. They are all muted, so they won't be speaking. But if there is a question from the Zoom world, please feel free to put that in the chat box, and we'll make every effort to acknowledge that. Okay, I think that is all I have for orientation. Any questions about just how this session goes? All right, I will get over to Dawn, and he's going to walk you through our administration.
Like we should refer to your bulletins, pages 12 to 24 for more details about just about everything that I've been saying. Good morning, everybody. This is your NCFO presentation of the movements and of the 2024 budget. You should get applause out of that. But this experience had an influence about how I understand funding commission. I've begun to tell this story in a number of congregations that I've visited since then, but even here I wish to give you a short version of what happened. I had an experience when I drove over to Bend for a spiritual University of the Rock retreat in Marcus. And I had neglected to prepare for first year travel. And so I found myself in my car, and I had 2.5 hours to go. And okay, I'll figure it out. I was driving. And I had been suffering from these headaches that were radiating my neck over the top of my head. And they were very painful and even more so distracting. So I decided that in the car I was going to start meditating. And I just chose a single word to meditate on. The word that I chose was compassion. This so happened that while I was driving, I was going through a huge burn area of the forest. If you're familiar with standing at camp, you know that 2 years ago we had a massive wildfire. There are 20+ miles of dead trees standing at camp. So my meditation on compassion first led me to the forest, and then to the people who were displaced, and then to the people who were trying to rebuild, and for the firefighters, and for everybody who enjoyed those forests with compassion for all. What I found was that immediately my headache broke. And I'm not talking because I never had such an immediate reaction to my meditation. So I started messing around with two other words. Tried love, tried connection, those all work too. It was a matter of being mindful in the moment and being healed. And what I found out was that this whole experience made me an absolute terrible driver. Made me run off the road a couple of times, but my car was really good at warning me across the lines. And eventually I said, okay, I can't do this. I have to concentrate a little bit on what I'm doing here. So I put some music on to satisfy my needs to be in the moment. And it worked somewhat. It kept my headache at bay, but not perfectly. So I got to where I was going, and then when I sat down in the congregation, I could let it do. And my headache was better. And I know that it's strange that standing here before you as professional and so should not smile. But it never ceases to me that it does. That I respect the need to get things done. I accomplish a lot. I like to get things done. I like to be perfect. And honestly, we wouldn't have a church without people who like to get things done. But this experience to me reminded me that it's why. It's vital. That I must not forget why I serve the church. Why we gather together. It's time for me to be more and more understanding of why. Why we give and spend money in the function of the gospel of Christ. I want us all to remember that and to start going through the rest of my report. I'm now putting what I like to say, putting marker back to work. Go. The Bridge of Hope is my first piece of news. We have much to report, guys. The Bridge of Hope has always been a two-part campaign, though up to this point we've only been focused on the first part, which is fully funding the church's retirement responsibility in perpetuity. The first part is nearly complete. As of the last update released by the church, we managed to raise all but $7.5 million of the entire goal, which was $20 million. I think that's pretty good. Further good news is that the Western Field, of which we are a part, has completely funded its target. But GPNW fell short $900,000 of our $3 million target. We expected the net sales to be completed by this time this year, but it had been extended into 2024, thus missing the deadline for the first part of the Bridge of Hope. But the Bridge of Hope is not yet complete until the temple endowment is also fully funded. So the proceeds from that will likely be some of the first funds of fulfill the second half of the campaign. Now we don't yet know the size or scope or the timing of the second phase, nor do we even know if we retain the nomenclature of Bridge of Hope. At this point, as it is appropriate though, it's important to recognize that we will have the same financial controls in place. When property is sold or a mission plan needs to be in place to justify the money and how much is retained locally and for what purpose. Very good. Every dollar you can make. And if you don't have a name picked out, if you don't have a purpose or funds, then you should be willing to operate as a part of the church that has a name picked out, meaning it has purpose for funds. Now, I already alluded to the delay of the property sale. However, this delay has some great perks that go along with it. I wanted to bring you up to date on that. In order to get the delay, the buyer had to agree to start releasing earnest money and penalties. So the church has already received $601,750. $100,000 of that was penalty. The rest is all earnest money. Ben used the first $300,000 of that to pay down his debt at the mission center. And that, I think, was a good idea, my friends, because what it did is it cut the interest accrual of that loan in half, and it thus gave a boost to the mission center's operating investment fund. In here, when investments have been nothing but mediocre at best. So, on page 4 of my report, you'll see the reduction in the size of the then loan. That's the statement of financial position. And you'll see that it dropped roughly from $600,000 to $300,000. And likewise, see an increase of $300,000 in operating investment fund. Of course, there are other things that influence the operating investment fund as well. As a side note, we had 2 other properties that are for sale in the Mission Center. Bremerton has a lot that was under contract. I say was because they have passed the deadline. The buyer was not able to find financing, so it appears that the sale may be on hold, maybe not. Sales price is $125,000. It's unclear whether or not it's going to close. And also, Salem has voted to sell the back half of its property, but this sale is also stalled. The rising interest rates of housing, I'm guessing, is about buyer. The home builder was interested in developing that lot, but not made it expected to offer yet, and I expect that to do this completely. As far as the sale, there's probably reasonable places to build right now. Okay, this slide is simply to recognize the Yakima Valley congregation and its generosity to the Mission Center. Yakima Valley this year made the decision to sell their properties and carry on in the rental facility. In addition to the sizable donations to Bridge Boat, the amount that was over $400,000, GPW received $100,000 to boost its operating investment fund. In the face of falling contributions, this step was most welcome. And I'd like to offer my thanks to our the budget. So, please turn your comfortable to page 21, where you will see the copy of the budget. Is that right? Just some general data to note. The 2024 budget, as proposed, is 6.6% and $30,000 larger than 2023, bringing the total to $490,000. Why is it bigger? Inflation. It's very simple. Everything is more expensive now than it was a year ago. And there are a couple of changes to income categories that I want to point out to you. Bear with me. In past years, we've been accustomed to seeing 2 line items for investment income. The first has always been a 4% slice of the 5-year average of the operating investment fund. 5-year average is a lot of variation. The second line item has been an additional percentage of that same fund. Now, I've been here in my role as CFO for 5 years. Who said that? That extra percentage has varied in the last 5 years between 1% during the pandemic and 2.5% during other years. This year it is, like I said, 2.6%. We have previously made that differentiation because 4% is the gold standard. In an ideal world, 4% would indeed be the total withdrawal of our operating investment fund, because it would give that fund wings to grow faster than it has been. I have determined that it is simply not necessary to separate those two items. sustainable than a 4% drop. The first graph demonstrates that while we both while both the budget and the 4% drop are sustainable, the 4% drop covers less and less of the total needed income as inflation raises the budget. The second graph shows how a 6% drop keeps pace with inflation much better than and is something we simply need to get used to as long as we maintain our current levels of service. Note that the 5-year average is still set to increase, even though a larger percentage, that 6% is used. That's the upward trend of the graph. Each place much better with inflation. So here you have a visual representation of GPNW's investment income for 2024. Typical 4% drop has been added to the 6% drop, which yields 53.49% of our budget. I know it looks a lot different than it has in past years, but I think it's important for you to know and to fully understand the extent to which your mission center is dependent on investment funds. We use far more investment funds than the new congregational gifts and individual gifts. Also, we're coming to the end of our first year where we changed how congregations support the mission center. The results of that first year can be found on the page for UCFO report for the 10 words congregational support. The first half of that change is allocations. In most cases, our congregations now only have a $1,500 allocation. We consider that to be, in most cases, the amount of the minimum that a congregation needs to pay the mission center. And this allocation now only accounts for 8% of the GPNW budget. The larger piece of congregational support is the amount of additional support various pastors and CFOs have indicated that their congregations can give to the mission center in addition to their allocations. The breakdown of this 17.3% of the 2024 budget is also found on that same chart labeled congregational support. And it consists of what I call, quote unquote, soft pledges. Why do I call them soft? It's because the amount of the congregational leaders have indicated they will put their 2024 budgets, but in most cases, those budgets have not been ratified by the congregations. After they are approved, those same congregational leaders are supposed to contact me and let me know if they're ardent or not. This congregation has ultimate say in how all the voting is. Then loan is getting a smaller and smaller piece of the pie because the loan is getting smaller and smaller. And which I love, by the way. And this is generated by the interest on the then loan, and it's half of the interest that was accumulated last year. It's now only 3.7%. This slice of the pie indicates direct contributions from our friends and members. Sometimes those contributions come through their CFOs. Sometimes they come directly to the mission center in cash, well, in cash. You probably get that cash for free right there. And sometimes e-tithing. The actuals for 2023 that you'll see on the budget page appear low at the end of July. That is simply because most of our CFOs pay under books and pay the mission center really out of the year. This final piece of the pie requires an explanation because I did some illusory. At the end of 2022, there was only $7,080 left as net gain, which many call surplus. Policy requires that $7,000 be put in reserve for the 2024 budget. However, upon closing 2022, during SIPO, realized the funds remained However, it's quite a bit smaller than it was in 2023. That's one GPW's employees, who was considered part of the mission center's ministerial support staff, has gone off to greener pastures. And after this departure, the mission center leadership team made the decision to hire Roche Schlinker, who's somewhere here in the room, and I hope you all get a chance to meet her. Absolutely love it. And we decided that this position would be an administrative support position rather than a ministerial position. So like I just stated, we moved one full-time equivalency from ministerial to support staff, and that accounts for this category's increase. I suggest that if you want to know a full picture of what your mission center leadership team is involved in, you ask one of your pastors, because they're going to get a brand new flyer after breakfast tomorrow that explains all of our needs. It's a great summary of what we have to do, although we had students on the one page, so it's we do a lot. From respect to caravan, youth camps, educational opportunities, academic involvement, old news, this is how the mission center further supports the mission of the church. This 12.8% of our budget is a 7.7% increase from last year. And finally, is our overhead. Includes everything that you would normally see in your mission center has an office, insurance, postage, technological subscriptions, and the like. Please find a microphone if you'd like to ask questions. All right. The commissioner comments.
I see on page 21 that 7,000 surplus or increase. Where is that 30,000?
So it's one thing about following answer. In 2021 and 2022, we took money from the operating budget and put them into two different funds for activities that we did not have. So at the end of 2022, I took those funds, put it back into operations, which created the extra $30,000. And then that went forward to do this.
So that 30,000 is in the number of those paid.
And I don't have to.
Okay, I'm not even looking for right next to it. There you go. Thank you. I understood what it was.
Oh, okay.
I just wasn't looking right before what was said. There you go.
All right, I'll give you all back to me.
At this time, I would refer you to page 25 for consideration of a resolution to amend our operating procedures and guidelines to provide for a non-delegate conference. I will read that resolution aloud for those of you perhaps on Zoom who may not have the materials. This has been submitted by the Mission Center Leadership Team. Whereas the Greater Pacific Northwest USA Mission Center was created in 2003 by combining 8 existing jurisdictions covering Washington, Alaska, and Oregon. And whereas the originally adopted guidelines and operating procedures for the Mission Center provided for a delegate conference, meaning each congregation within the newly formed Mission Center was allotted a certain number of delegates according to formulas that existence to attend and have voting privileges at the annual Mission Center conferences beginning in 2004. And whereas only elected delegates to Mission Center conferences are currently permitted to vote on legislation and must attend conferences in person in order to do so. And whereas the Committee of Parties bylaws permit mission centers to choose whether their conferences will be open to all members in good standing or to provide for delegate conferences. And whereas current technology provides methods for members to attend conferences virtually and using electronic devices for voting, thereby eliminating the requirement to be physically present in order to vote. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the mission center's operating procedures be amended to provide for non-delegate mission center conferences as follows. Paragraph A, under mission center conferences, representation. All members in good standing within the mission center all members in good standing within the mission center are members of the mission center conference. Upon approval by the Western Field Council, mission center conferences will be non-delegate meetings in which members will be allowed to participate and vote either in person or by virtual or other electronic means. Only members of the Greater Pacific Northwest Mission Center may deliberate and vote to the mission center conferences except for one of the following circumstances. 1. A member who has changed his or her place of residency, but whose transfer is not yet in process, being given the right to vote and vote by action consently. 2. The privilege of voice, but not vote, in the conference's deliberation also may be extended as courtesy to members who have special information or interest in the issue. Given such privilege without consent. And be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect January 3rd, 2024. This mission center leadership team has been considering this resolution now for several years. The pandemic offered us the opportunity to experiment with a non-delegate conference for 2 years as we experienced our annual conference online. One of the silver linings of the pandemic years has been witnessing the expansion and deepening of relationships throughout this mission center. With so many online opportunities for fellowship emerging, I have seen our mission center come together in a more cohesive and connected way than ever before. It's no secret that for many years we have struggled with our geographic loyalties, traditions, and differences. And now, 20 years later, I see those divisions and boundaries falling away and can see the unified body that we have become. Additionally, with technology we didn't have 20 years ago, we can now participate in business meetings, vote electronically, and conduct the business of the mission center from a variety of locations. When we experimented in 2020 with the non-delegate Zoom-based conference, we had 175 devices logged in, many of them with multiple attendees on screen. That's more delegates than we will have here today. The reality is that with a non-delegate conference and the opportunity to attend in person or Zoom in, more members of the mission center will have the opportunity to have a voice and vote in making decisions for the future of the mission center. In preparing this resolution, I queried the other mission centers in our field, as well as in the West Mission Center and Canada West Mission Center, the 2 closest mission centers to us outside our field. Of these other 6 mission centers, only 2 of them operate as delegate conferences, Rocky Mountain and in the West. The other 4 are non-delegate conferences and have found this model to be successful and widely appreciated by their members. Finally, while all of us here and at home value the opportunity for the fellowship that comes with in-person conferences, many who wish to participate in this process simply cannot. The cost of travel can be and for these and many more reasons, we, your leadership team, believe that it is time to amend our operating guidelines to allow us to hold future mission center conferences as non-delegate meetings in which all members are allowed to vote. At this time, I will invite any clarifying questions about the resolution.
Thank you, Mrs. Dawson, for that congregation. In the past, there have arisen questions about the ability to vote by proxy when someone was not able to come to a Can you repeat that? I can't hear you very well.
Oh, I get it.
And which paragraph are you referring to?
Number two, check the result. I'm just curious to give an example of what would be special information that never.
That would be a situation, and this is taken directly from the operating guideline language. That would be a situation where someone maybe is not a member of our mission center, but is an expert in a certain policy or program that they would want to start. And has information that we can ask or ask.
I guess the reason that it says member, so I'm assuming that would be a member of our. That's why I'm just curious why they would already have that.
Any other questions for me?
Thank you for the recommendation. Thank you for the right for bringing that. Going up to the exception number one, could you explain to me how the vote by action of assembly will take place in a hybrid type of situation? How are we going to recognize somebody who is no longer a resident of Keaton that has not had their transfer complete, but we still give them an opportunity, and how that action will take place?
My understanding of this language is that a member who has transferred here and lives here, but whose membership on Shelby perhaps has not been completed by the recorder, which doesn't really happen. This is language that was written quite a long time ago, and how we operate Shelby was a little different, and things took longer to process. Now it happens pretty instantaneously. So my understanding of this language is that it would apply to someone who has moved here, but whose intention is to transfer their membership into the detention center, but that process hasn't been completed on the Shelby. Technically, for some background, when you transfer mission centers or even congregations, that transfer has to happen in the Shelby database. And then before conference, when delegates names had been suggested in the past for the membership, Jill, as our mission center recorder, goes through all those names and makes sure that they are actually members. And so that would apply to a situation where someone lives here, but their membership maybe hasn't been transferred yet.
Thank you for that clarification. What would the actual process be to have time to verify this situation?
I am not sure about that. There's a number of situations like that we would have to work through with the creative policy.
Bill Campbell from Auburn. In the fourth whereas, it says that the community rights bylaws permit mission centers to choose whether we delegate that. And then we recall that it states that upon approval by the Western Fields Hospital, it seems necessary to take it down to on the spot that
We've already seen that.
Will we find out that answer that approval that they
I think we've already received that.
I'm thinking about it all
The word is a little laborish, nation remarks.
If I just briefly speak to the resolution, I think it's a good idea.
We're going to save that for the business section. This is just for asking questions right now. Thank you. Any other questions about the resolution itself? Thank you for your attention to that. And of course, at the business session is going to be, it will be officially moved to the conference for speak for or against it. Tom, do you have a question?
Just the help us with that current voting
There are a number of electronic voting methods that I've spoken with a couple of admission center residents about. So all of those details, once the resolution passes, we'll be working out those details before next year. There's a number of different ways we can do hybrid conference. We can use mobile devices. There's an app on your phone called Poll Everywhere you can use. Zoom itself has a polling option within that platform. So those decisions have not been made yet, but because there are a number to look at and test, we would like to have that opportunity to do that over the course of next year and have a decision made before Congress next year. Jan, David? Yes. Yes, our Shelby database that the Brochures uses is our membership records database, and it tells us membership status for everyone. Yes, well, I'll go back to the way we did things in 2020 and 2021. We have to register. We will have to register, and when one registers, that's when Jill is able to check her membership status. I'm sorry, I didn't clarify that. Yes, so part of the hybrid conference where you're voting from a remote location is in order to get the Zoom link, you have to register, and through that registration process is how Jill knows who is attending and who is a member. We've pretty much operated on a modern system for all these years, we still will. I have yet to experience a conference where a non-member tried to see and vote on something. So, anticipated, but you never know what might happen on Zoom, right? Yes. No, that doesn't mean that. Again, if this resolution passes, we're going to look at all the different ways that we can do this, but primarily our intent is that we will still have an in-person location with the mission center leadership team presenting. It won't necessarily be in Portland. We would like to be able to start moving back around the mission center. Portland has historically been a location because it's the most central located and largest congregation for all members of the mission center to get to, fairly, included. But with a hybrid conference, it gives us options for having in-person hubs. We can do from home, we'll still have in-person opportunities. So, maybe not here. Yes, well, but again, once the resolution passes, I promise you that the mission center leadership team will be consulting people and looking at all the different options. Most of the mission centers I've spoken with that do hybrid conferences have various hubs within their mission center that people come to so that they get fellowship opportunity, but also can vote from there. Many people zoom in personally from home, but there are multiple in-person opportunities. So you may come here, you may gather in other congregations. We want to encourage fellowship, that's an important part of this experience. So we want to continue to encourage that. Okay, for number 2.
Terrific, one part. When as soon as Jim stood up, I knew what he was getting at. He was nervous that he was going to lose his position at Texas. I definitely saw something.
Thank you. Are there any other clarifying questions about the resolution itself? We will have an opportunity to speak for or against it at this session. See none. I'm going invite them to meet, and get personal. There we go. That concludes our orientation for the delegates as far as the business items for this afternoon. I want to remind you that we're having an earlier lunch than we had before. We're going from 11 to 1 p.m. And again, if you are interested in purchasing a lunch ticket for the salad bar downstairs and the fundraiser for our Fairhaven group, please see Jill at the table and we'll $10. If you wish to submit an amendment to anything budget related or this resolution, please write it out and submit it to the table when you need. That way we can have it typed out and put on the slide so that when we're presenting it at the business session, it can be displayed for everyone to read and not scramble to write it in. So if you would be so kind as to think about it ahead of time and submit those to the table, that would be greatly appreciated. And then also, if you do that, be prepared during the open session to move that and a reminder that we do want to start promptly at 1 o'clock, so we would ask you to be in your seat 30 minutes before 1 o'clock, before we go there, for this afternoon. And the south side, just a reminder, I forgot to mention earlier that it's been in many of the printed announcements and materials that you may receive already. Portland congregation is part of the Family Farm program, which benefits those without home, and specifically families. And so the south side of this building, which is everything to the south of the entrance doors on the side, is for family promises. So you will see some families around today, this evening, tomorrow. We don't use those rooms that are in that area anymore. So please be respectful of our guests that are staying here. Right now, we want to be sure that they know that we know that this is also their home. So I appreciate that. That is all the answers I have. Thank you for your patience during this session and enjoy your lunch. If you go out to lunch, please just be sure to back in time to leave your seat at 7 o'clock. And we'll close with number 351 and be especially early. So we're going to stand up if you like. So following the hymn, I'll invite Jennifer Fisher up to offer a blessing on our gathering as well as our